Are you looking for a high-paying career in Canada? Look no further. In this video, I'll be doing a countdown of the top 10 highest paying jobs in Canada, from medical professionals to corporate executives. So I'll be having a closer look at their salary structure, what are some of the job requirements or some of these very lucrative positions. So whether you're a recent graduate or you're a seasoned professional, there is actually something for everyone on the list. So get ready to take your career to the next level and join me as I explore the top 10 highest paying jobs in Canada. Are you ready? Let's go to number one. So number one is going to be full stack developer. So the average salary of a full stack developer in Canada, it's around 85,000 Canadian dollars, and for entry level positions for these full stack developers usually start around 75,000 Canadian dollars per year. While if you now have a lot of experience, depending on the number of years, some of these full stack developers can earn up to 130,000 Canadian dollars per year. Now, there has never been such a time for high demand of these full stack developers, and that demand usually is rising on the day. And it's safe to say there has never been such a time to pursue a career as a full stack developer. So if you're interested and you want to do maybe a master's to qualify, or you have that experience, just do a certification or course, and then you'll be on your way to any high as a full stack developer. The number two on the list is going to be financial analyst. Now, financial analyst jobs remain among the top positions, highest paying jobs in Canada, and their salary have actually risen over the past couple of years. And as a financial analyst, you should be expected to get a salary of around $80,000 to 120,000 Canadian dollars per year. Now, a lot of businesses, hundreds and thousands of businesses, rely on the services of an experienced financial analyst to enhance all of their corporate success, because they are able to spot any patterns in financial data, and also they assist all of their senior managers in making a very wise and crucial decision. Now, a very more strategic and analytical financial function, necessitates a financial analyst that will now contribute more frequently and directly to other departments, not just the finance department. Therefore, if you're a candidate for this financial analyst position, definitely know that you have a high chance of being paid big. If you want to do maybe a master's in economics or finance to get qualified for this position, amazing. Even though you have a bachelor's degree, you just want to do this, you can begin to do some finance related courses, and then start working your way to the top. Number three is going to be HR manager. So HR means human resources. So the average salary of human resources manager in Canada usually range from 83,000 Canadian dollars annually. For entry-level HR managers, their salary usually start around, let's say, $80,000 annually, and most experienced workers can make up to $110,000 annually. Now, people that are working in this human resources field, you can really expect high earning potential. There's a lot of job stability, and they keep having rising salaries, and the HR specialist can actually anticipate good job quality over the next couple of years while making a very competitive salary. And we know that with job openings at a very high rate, the workers in this area are in demand, and they have very high negotiating power because they have the necessary skills. Number three, let's talk about Millwright. Now, Millwrights can earn between $50,000 at the entry level, and for those at the senior position, they can earn up to $95,000. Now, Millwrights are in high demand and have usually become one of the highest paid. This is not like a skills trade, so because we know that machine automation is actually increasing, and as such, more millwrights will be required to keep some of this machine in good working order, and it is one of the fastest growing trades, and it is anticipated that there's going to be a greater need for millwrights, as more advanced manufacturing equipment have been adopted, and the salaries follow suit, which means the more the jobs and the demand, then it means that the higher the salary. So top millwrights are sought after with high wages, and as such they make it a very great time to be, it's a great time to be in that field. So definitely check it out. So the number 5 that I want to talk about today is a production supervisor. Now, a production supervisor is one of the top paying jobs in Canada, and the production supervisor can usually see a salary of around $65,000 probably for a start, and for those with experience and for those in a more senior position, they can aid an average of $100,000 per year. Now the compensation has really been rising. The production supervisor have become more and more valuable to a lot of companies because the demand of production supervisor isn't expected to slow down, because the manufacturing sector have really seen high increase in demand over the past couple of years. So it's such an interesting career and position to look into. Number 6, as small as it may sound, let's talk about executive assistant. Now, the average salaries of executive assistants usually range from around $60,000 to $96,000 annually. Now, the employment outlook for these executive assistants has constantly been growing, and there are many job openings across the country. It is constantly growing. Now, behind every great executive, you see, there's a CEO or a director, there is a fantastic assistant that actually helping the executive arrange all the meetings and all the note taking and all that. Now, basically what they do, executive assistant, they help manage inner office workings, the balance professional, familiar, social obligations, and then they really make it a very sought after position for a lot of companies, because directors won't be picking every phone call by themselves or writing every single thing by themselves. So executive assistants, such a high paying position. Let's go to number 7. Let's talk about solution architect. Now, solution architect salaries ranges from $84,000 to about $130,000 per year. Now, they find out the top paying provinces for this kind of solution architect are usually Alberta, Ontario, and British Columbia. So if you want to work as a solution architect, these 3 provinces are what you should be looking at, and the salaries can vary depending on various crucial aspects, including schooling, what credentials do you have, what are the supplementary talents that you have, how long have you been in the field. So these have a way of also affecting the salary. Now, companies are expanding their information technology network, and as such, the demand for these solution architects are rising, and as such, the job is in high demand. So if you have a previous experience or you want to do a course that you want that makes you eligible to work in this area, definitely check it out. Number 8, forklift operators. Now, the salary of forklift operators usually range from $40,000 to $58,000 per year. Now, forklift drivers are in high demand, and we know that their salary has have risen due to the high demand of this job. And with the rise of e-commerce, of course, there's been a lot of increase in the warehouse and fulfillment centers, because these days, people just set up their stores and then you just buy things and they get shipped. So these forklift operators, they actually needed to start to move around and then to inventory all the merchandise at the warehouse, and also different fulfillment centers across the country. For example, there'll be no Amazon fulfillment center without a forklift operator for a start, for example. Now, due to the high skill gap, employers are looking for people that are skilled workers to fill a lot of numerous positions. Let's go to number 9. Number 9 is going to be electrical engineers. So electrical engineers, they can make around $115,000 on average for those that have 5 to 10 years of work experience, and for those that are starting out, there are positions usually around $80,000 to $100,000 per year, though you find higher average in locations such as Calgary in Ontario and British Columbia. And where do they actually work? So electrical engineers, they work in energy and manufacturing plants, and they also tend to enjoy very high competitive pay. Now these roles are compensated at such high rates due to the educational experience required, and also the supply and demand factor. Now a general stem cell shortage in Canada often drives some of this high compensation for a lot of the technical jobs. The last one that we're going to be talking about today is construction project managers. Now, construction project managers, they can earn a very competitive salary, depending on the position and the location of the job, right? The pay can be as much as $100,000 per annum. Now, because of the pandemic of the COVID, it has opened the door for growth, for a lot of job growth in this sector, which also leading to very high competitive salaries. So there's a pressure on the housing market, and then there's also a need for different business structures. They mean more. There's a lot of more work, of course, and that gives rise for the need of a lot of construction project teams. So these are just a few of the highest paying jobs in Canada for 2023. So we can find these top jobs in any of the sector, whether health and manufacturing, in IT and all of this. Okay, so you can actually check out your experience, your education background, and see if there's any program that matches your experience. If you need to go to take a training or go to the school for any of them, definitely take it out, and then we think about it before applying for a program to come to Canada. Is going to be much beneficial for you. And whether you're coming as a permanent resident, you have an idea of the kind of job that you should be looking at. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, do it to subscribe, and if you haven't liked this video, do it to like this video. It's going to help the YouTube algorithm recommend this video to other people. Once again, my name is Peter Cecile. I'll see you in the next video.